Your cat doesn't just love you the way a mother loves her kitten. Your cat has biologically reclassified you as one. The exact same neurological cascade that fires in a mother cat's brain when she nurses her young, fires when your cat looks at you. Researchers confirmed this in 2019 using fMRI imaging on domestic cats. And the implications of that finding are something most owners never hear about. What it means is that every protective instinct, every act of vigilant surveillance, every moment of deliberate physical closeness that a mother cat would perform for a kitten she would die to protect, your cat is performing all of it for you right now. Most owners spend their cat's entire life thinking these behaviors are random or endearingly quirky, or simply the strange habits of a strange animal. They are none of those things. They are ancient maternal signals encoded over tens of thousands of years, and you've been receiving them without knowing how to read a single one. Here's the misconception that sits at the center of everything. Most people believe cats are fundamentally independent creatures who tolerate their owners, show affection on their own schedule, and don't actually need the people they share their lives with. Animal behavior researchers used to believe this too, until they started applying the same bonding frameworks developed from mother-infant pairs to the cat-human relationship. What they found didn't just challenge the old assumption, it dismantled it entirely. Cats who bond deeply with their owners don't show companionship. They show maternal attachment. Active, biological, protective devotion of the kind that in the wild you would only direct at something you were willing to risk your life to keep alive. And the reason most owners miss this their entire lives is not because the signals are rare. It's because the signals are quiet. They're repeated. They're hidden inside behaviors you've been dismissing as weird, sweet, or mildly inconvenient for years. There's one behavior in particular that I want you to hold in the back of your mind as we go through all 21. It involves what your cat does when the house is completely dark, when you are fully asleep, when you are at your absolute most defenseless. What's happening in that moment, what your cat is doing while you know nothing about it, will reframe every single thing else on this list once you understand it. We'll get there, and when we do, it will hit differently than anything else in this video. Before we get into the signs themselves, I want to introduce you to someone. Her name is Maya, and 2 years ago, she adopted a 7-year-old cat from a shelter. His name was Ghost. In his shelter file, he'd been labeled reserved and independent, which is shelter language for a cat who doesn't show warmth easily, a cat who might not ever become the affectionate companion most adopters are hoping for. Maya told herself she was fine with that. She told herself she didn't need the closeness. But slowly, gradually, over weeks and then months, she started noticing things. Small things. Ghost sitting just outside the bathroom door every single morning. Ghost sleeping with one paw pressed lightly against her ankle. Ghost making a sound she had never heard a cat make before. A small, rapid, high chirping sound he produced only when she walked into a room. She thought he was odd. One your cat follows you into. One your cat follows you into every room. The bathroom, the kitchen, the hallway between the two. You've probably laughed about it. You've probably described it to people as your cat being clingy or weirdly attached, or simply too nosy for their own good. Here's what most owners never find out. What you're watching is a security sweep. Mother cats in the wild do not allow their kittens to enter unfamiliar or unguarded spaces alone. Because in the wild, an unguarded space is a dangerous one. Your cat following you through your home isn't separation anxiety. It's threat assessment. They're scanning the room you've just entered, checking sight lines, calculating exits, listening for anything that shouldn't be there. A 2021 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats who shadow their owners display the same elevated environmental scanning behaviors as mother cats entering new territory with young. They're not trailing you because they need your attention. They're trailing you because they've decided you are the kitten, and the kitten cannot be left unguarded in unknown terrain. Think about what that means for a second. Your cat has decided you are someone worth protecting, not just someone worth being near. someone who requires active, ongoing, room-by-room defense. Most owners go their cat's entire life, never understanding that the small shadow moving through their house is actually a security detail that never clocks out. The bathroom is where this becomes clearest. The closed door, the locked room, the barrier you think gives you a moment of privacy. To your cat, that is a tactical emergency. You have placed yourself in an enclosed space with no visible exits and no way for them to monitor whether you are safe. Mother cats do not allow their kittens to disappear behind walls they can't see through. The scratching, the persistent meowing, the paw sliding under the door. That is not neediness. That is maternal protocol running exactly as designed. She's telling you, in the clearest terms available to her, you are not allowed to be that vulnerable without me present. That's the rule. She will enforce it every single time. Your departure triggers the same system. When you grab your keys and your cat begins to meow urgently, or blocks the door, or presses against your legs in a way that isn't playful, most owners call this dramatic. A 2017 study tracking cortisol levels in cats whose owners left and returned found that even cats who appeared visibly calm during departures showed internal stress markers identical to kittens separated from their mother. The ones who vocalize loudly are expressing it outwardly. The ones who seem indifferent are still experiencing it. Every time you leave, your cat's nervous system registers a version of what a mother cat's nervous system registers when a kitten disappears from the nest. That's not drama. That's biology that has been running in them since long before you arrived. In a moment, we're going to reach a behavior on this list that most owners never witness even once in their cat's lifetime. Something that reveals the full depth of what's happening. But stay with me, because the next section is where things start getting genuinely strange. 2. Your cat has invented a language and given you your own word in it. Here's the pattern interrupt before we go further. Adult cats do not meow at other cats. This is not widely known, but researchers confirmed it in 2002. Feral cats living completely without human contact produce almost no vocal sounds as adults. Meowing, as a sustained behavior, is something domestic cats developed specifically and exclusively to communicate with humans. Cats invented an entire vocal system for you. And within that system, your cat has developed a personalized dialect that belongs only to your relationship. A 2019 study from the University of Sussex found that cats develop individual, specific vocalizations for particular humans in their household. Distinct pitch patterns, rhythms, and tonal qualities used with that person, and no one else in the home. Your cat has given you a name in their language. That particular sound they make when they locate you in a room, that specific pitch, that rhythm, that version of the vocalization that only happens when it's you. That is your name. They've identified you. They've built a word around your existence. Most owners live their entire cat's life without ever knowing this is happening. If your cat has a sound that belongs specifically to you, you're not just a beloved human to them. You have been named. You have your own identity in their world. Then there are the chirps, high-pitched, rapid, almost bird-like sounds that most owners hear maybe twice in a year and assume are a response to a bird outside the window. Cat linguistics researchers, a field that has expanded significantly in the last decade, made a notable discovery in 2022. These chirping vocalizations belong to a maternal communication system that mother cats use exclusively with their kittens during the earliest weeks of life. Adult cats don't use them with other adult cats. They don't use them with strangers. They use them with beings they have consciously placed in the kitten category. Beings they have decided require their care and deserve their most intimate vocal register. If your cat chirps at you, they have made that classification. You've been admitted into a vocal system so intimate and so specific that most humans will never hear it directed at them at all. Most owners don't even know this sound exists. The ones whose cats produce it will likely never forget hearing it once they understand exactly what it means. Here's where it gets really interesting, and I want you to stay with me because what comes next is the kind of thing you don't forget. 3. Your cat marks you in a way that has nothing to do with territory, and everything to do with claim. When your cat presses their forehead against yours, or pushes the side of their face firmly against your cheek, this is called bunting. It looks like a greeting. It feels like affection. Here's what's actually occurring beneath the surface. Your cat has scent glands along their forehead, cheeks, and chin that release pheromones carrying their individual chemical signature. When they bunt you, they're not just saying hello, they're signing you. They're placing their mark on you in a specific and intentional way. But here's the distinction most people never learn. Mother cats bunt their own kittens, not other adult cats, not objects they simply prefer. Only the beings they have claimed as their permanent, irreplaceable responsibility. When your cat bunts you, they're performing an act that in their species is biologically reserved for what they love at the deepest maternal level. They're saying, in the clearest chemical language available to them, this one is mine. This one carries my mark. This one is under my protection. And I want every other living thing that comes near to know it. The slow blink is operating on a similarly deep level, and the science behind it will change the way you experience it forever. When your cat holds eye contact with you and slowly, deliberately closes and opens their eyes, your brain releases oxytocin. Not as a metaphor, literally. The 2020 study from the universities of Sussex and Portsmouth measured this directly. The slow blink exchange between a cat and a human produces a quantifiable oxytocin increase in both parties. Oxytocin is the bonding neurochemical responsible for the attachment between a nursing mother and her infant. Your cat evolved this signal. Over thousands of years of living alongside humans, cats developed this specific behavior to create the precise neurological conditions for deep, lasting bonding. The same conditions that make a mother feel bonded to the being she feeds and protects. Mother cats slow blink at their kittens during nursing and grooming. Your cat slow blinks at you. They are not being cute. They are running a sophisticated biological tether, neurochemically connecting you to them in a way your brain is participating in, whether you're aware of it or not. That gentle, unhurried blink has been one of the most complex acts of affection your cat possesses, and they've been offering it to you, probably for years, while you smiled back, not fully knowing what was actually happening between you. And hey, if this is making you see your cat differently right now, hit subscribe. It's the best way to help other cat owners find out what their cats have been trying to tell them. 4. Your cat makes themselves physically vulnerable in ways that cost them something real. In the wild, in the world that every cell of your cat's body was built for, vulnerability is not an option. A cat who exposes their stomach, who relaxes their guard in an open space, who sleeps without one eye metaphorically open, is a cat inviting predation. Every instinct they carry, instincts that go back 37 million years of feline evolution, screams that softness is death. So when your cat rolls over and shows you their belly, understand what they have just done. They've exposed every vital organ, heart, lungs, liver, digestive system, placed them within reach of your hands, and temporarily suspended the survival reflex that exists for one singular purpose: to keep them alive. Mother cats expose their bellies to their kittens in the earliest weeks of the relationship, when the trust is so complete that the survival calculation shifts. Your cat has run that same calculation. They've weighed your presence against their instinct, and they've chosen to override the instinct. They're not being playful. They're not setting a trap. They're saying, I've decided that you are safe enough to cost me this. The drool completes that picture, and most owners are embarrassed when it happens. Please hear this. Don't be. When your cat is being held or petted and begins to drool, their brain has done something remarkable. Kittens drool during nursing because the neurological pleasure response from the suckling reflex, from complete safety, from warmth, from the presence of the one being in the world who protects them, is so overwhelming that normal physical self-regulation stops being prioritized. Their bodies are too occupied with feeling safe to manage anything else. When your adult cat drools on you, they have neurologically regressed to that state. In that moment, Their brain is processing the experience of being with you the same way a nursing kitten processes being with their mother. The safety is so total. The comfort is so complete that your cat's body has stopped performing basic maintenance because it is entirely occupied with the experience of being safe with you. That drawl is not embarrassing. It is your cat's nervous system surrendering, completely and without reservation. That is the rarest form of trust you will ever witness from an animal that was built to never show it. 5. Your cat performs acts of care that carry no benefit to them. When you're sick, when your body chemistry shifts with fever, when your scent changes with the specific markers of immune response, when your movements slow and your voice flattens, your cat knows before you do. They can smell inflammation at the cellular level. They detect temperature change through the air around you. And when they detect it, something in them reorganizes. They become quieter, closer, more deliberate in their movements. They reduce the demands they would normally make on a healthy day. They don't launch onto your chest the way they would when you're well. Instead, they lie beside you, or against the outside of your legs, in a position that allows them to monitor your breathing without disrupting it. This is exactly what mother cats do for sick kittens. Not to offer comfort in the human emotional sense. Cats don't operate from sympathy. They operate from protectiveness. A compromised kitten is a kitten at elevated risk. Your cat lying still beside you when you're unwell is not companionship therapy. It's medical monitoring. They've assessed that you are vulnerable, and they are responding with every maternal directive they carry. They also will not eat without you, and this behavior is one that most owners find charming without understanding its weight. Your cat walks to their bowl, looks at you, makes eye contact, waits, walks back toward you, goes to the bowl again. Most people interpret this as a demand for company, or a slightly strange social habit. Here's what's actually happening. The moment of eating is the moment of maximum vulnerability for a predator. Attention narrows, environmental awareness drops, the ability to detect and respond to threats is significantly reduced. Mother cats position themselves near their kittens while eating to signal, with their presence, "This space is safe. I am here." The safety is guaranteed for as long as you need to eat. When your cat won't begin eating without you nearby, they're requesting that guarantee. They're asking you to stand watch, to be present while they're vulnerable, and sometimes, in the complete reversal of that, they're also offering to do the same for you. Sometimes the luck and the waiting isn't a request at all. It's an invitation. Come, and I'll watch over you while you eat. The line between seeking care and offering it blurs completely, because in their understanding, it was never really a distinction. Family does both. You take turns. You don't eat alone. Here's what most owners will spend their entire cat's life never knowing, and this is what I've been building toward since the first minute of this video. 6. Something happens in the dark while you're sleeping that you have never seen. When the house is quiet and the lights are off, and you fully let go of consciousness and control, when you are at your absolute most defenseless, your cat is awake, and they are watching. Not at shadows on the wall, not at sounds from outside, at you. Researchers studying nocturnal behavior in bonded domestic cats found that cats in close relationships with their owners spend significant portions of the night in a specific alert state, pupils dilated, ears independently rotating to track every sound, body oriented toward the sleeping owner. They're monitoring your breathing for changes. They're tracking every sound that enters the house and calculating in real time whether it requires a response. This is the precise behavioral posture a mother cat holds when her kittens are sleeping in the nest. She doesn't sleep fully. She holds herself in a state between rest and readiness, always positioned between her young and whatever direction a threat might come from. Your cat does this for you, every night. While you sleep peacefully and completely unknowing, they are at their post. They have been at their post every night since the moment they decided you were worth protecting. Most owners will go their cat's entire life without ever knowing this is happening. It happens in the dark. It happens in silence. It requires nothing from you and asks nothing of you. But it is happening. And it is, of everything on this list, the truest and most complete expression of what they feel for you. Remember earlier when I said there was one behavior that would change how you understand everything else? This is it. The following: the bunting, the chirping, the drool, the waiting at the food bowl. All of it flows from this. Your cat has appointed themselves your guardian in the hours when you are most at risk. And they take that appointment with a seriousness that your sleeping brain will never witness, but your body is always safer for. This is where we come back to Ghost. Maya told me that one night, around 3 in the morning, she woke up to get water and found Ghost sitting completely motionless on the edge of her bed, facing the bedroom door, not asleep, not restless, perfectly still, perfectly alert, oriented toward the place where something might come from. She stood in the doorway and watched him for nearly a full minute before he turned and registered that she was awake. And then he blinked slowly. Once, twice, turned back to face the door, and settled. She didn't understand in that moment what she was seeing. She thought he was being strange again, doing his strange nighttime thing. But Ghost had never been strange. Ghost had been her guardian since the first week she brought him home. He had been watching the door every single night. He had been the first one into every room she entered. He had been chirping at her, that small, high, secret language, every time she walked in from work. He had been doing all of it, consistently and quietly, in the language she hadn't known she needed to learn. And watching him at that door, something in her shifted. She realized she had never been alone in that apartment, not one night. She had a guardian who had chosen her before she'd chosen him, and he had never once needed her to notice. 7. The final behaviors seal something that all the others have been building toward. When your cat makes eye contact with you during moments of physical contact and does not look away, understand what that costs them. In the animal world, sustained eye contact during a moment of vulnerability is almost universally avoided. Most animals avert their gaze when they're being touched. It's a self-protective reflex. Your cat, in those moments of being held or petted, or simply resting their weight against yours, will sometimes lock eyes with you in a way that doesn't break and doesn't soften and doesn't look away. They're fully present, consciously, deliberately, completely present with you. Mother cats make this contact with their kittens during grooming and feeding, during the moments of most intimate care. It's the look that says, "I see you seeing me. I feel you feeling me. This is real, and I am not going to look away from it." If your cat holds that gaze, they are not just comfortable with you. They are choosing to be fully here in this exact moment, instead of spacing out, instead of closing their eyes against the sensation, instead of retreating somewhere internal where they're safer. They're staying. That staying, that fully conscious, fully awake choice to remain present with you, is one of the most intentional things they will ever offer. Your cat also keeps a piece of you when you leave, a physical, scent-carrying piece. The shirt you wore 3 days ago, the pillow you slept on, the jacket left over the back of the chair. Your cat will find it, and they will stay near it, and they will press their face into the fabric the way they press their face against you. A 2018 study measured cortisol levels in cats left alone with an owner-scented item versus a neutral object. The cats with the owner-scented item showed measurably lower stress hormones across the duration of separation. Your scent is not comfort to them, it is medicine. Mother cats surround displaced kittens with their own scent to reduce the physiological damage of separation, to make the absence less destructive to the body. Your cat does the same with what you leave behind. They self-medicate with the smell of you, because your absence is something they need to biochemically survive. And the real version of you isn't available. That worn shirt is a survival mechanism. The fact that they need it tells you more plainly than anything else could exactly how much your presence changes the chemistry of their entire system. And finally, the lick-bite sequence, which most owners laugh off or get mildly irritated by without ever understanding what they're witnessing. Your cat grooms you. Slow, deliberate, rasping tongue against your hand or your wrist or your forehead. And then they bite. Not hard, just firm, just enough. Most owners interpret this as their cat not knowing whether they want to be affectionate or aggressive, as if the two impulses are competing. They're not competing, they're completing each other. Mother cats groom their kittens and then deliver corrective nips. Care followed by guidance, tenderness followed by authority, affection followed by the message that says, I'm in charge of your well-being, and that comes with consequences. When your cat performs this on you, they're expressing the complete range of maternal relationship in a single, unbroken gesture. They love you enough to care for you. They trust you enough to correct you. They're comfortable showing you complexity, not just softness, not just the easy parts of what they feel. Guests get politeness. Strangers get nothing. Family gets everything, including the parts that aren't entirely gentle. If your cat does this, you're not simply a beloved human. You're family in the fullest sense they know how to express it. You get the whole thing. There is a version of you that your cat sees that you will never see yourself. They see someone worth following into every room, someone whose breathing they monitor through the dark hours of every night. Someone whose name they invented from nothing, whose scent they use as medicine when you're gone, whose vulnerability they have appointed themselves, without being asked, without being trained, without being rewarded, to guard. They've been doing all of this quietly, repeatedly, in a language that most owners never learn. They have been loving you the way a mother loves the one thing she would walk into danger for, not because you earned it, not because you asked, because somewhere in the architecture of everything they are, they decided that you were worth it. And that decision is the whole story.